Hi there, welcome to part 2 of creating an online marketplace using Taubyte. This part is about the user service, which manages user profiles and settings. First thing first, let's start our universe that we created from the last part. Then access it through our console.taubyte.com dashboard. Now we're at our dashboard. Let's go to application and create a user service application. This user service is gonna handle user profiles. So getting a user, updating the profile, changing the password, and updating preferences. Of course, our code is not gonna go on inline serverless functions. We're gonna create a repo for the backend code. And for that, we're gonna create a new library and call it user service. Validate, create an empty Golang library, and push our changes to GitHub. So created the user service and finish. After that, we need to push using Dream Desktop so that the changes actually take place. Let's push our config and our code. If we go to the builds, there are two new jobs, one for the code and one for the config. Both are open and running. All right, after our two jobs have succeeded, we're gonna open our favorite editor, which is Cursor in this case, and try to clone the new library that we created. So go back to the application, user service, library, go to the repo that we created and clone it in our editor. So let's git clone this library. Now we have the user service right over here, an empty library. I'm gonna rename the entry point to user service and use the terminal to go mod tidy so that we get rid of the errors. All right, then let's ask the AI to make our user service. First of all, I'm gonna give it the endpoints. So in the user service library, create a CRUD API that has the following routes. The following routes are for getting user profile and updating the profile itself, changing the password, and updating preferences for the language, notification, and display. Of course, I'm gonna give it the model that I desire. I'd like the user to have an ID, which is gonna be the same. Let's add a comment, the same as the Auth Service ID, so that there's a binding between the Auth Service and the user service. Of course, it's gonna have a name, an email, phone, address, and the preferences. Then a role of a buyer, seller, or an admin. Let's use the planning method and hit enter. All right, guys, so the agent has created a to-do list for this user service. It's going to create a model.go with user profile struct and request response types. Okay, it's going to create a jwt.go for validating the token, and it's going to copy the function from the auth service. That's okay. Create utils.go with helper function, cores JSON. Okay. Create database.go to interact with the database. It's going to implement 4 routes and update go mod with required dependencies. Okay, I'm gonna click build and let's see what the agent is gonna create. All right then, so the AI created the code. Let's go through together. And the handlers.go, it created, I think, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it exported 4 functions for 4 routes. So each function handles 1 route. We got the get user profile, which, as we can see, uses HTTP, authenticates, uses the authenticate method, which gets the authorization header, and then extracts the bearer token and gets the user ID. Then it verifies the user can only access their own profile, and then gets the profile. This is the first method. Then we got the update one, which uses the authenticate method too and does the logic for updating. I guess updating the name, email, phone, and address. Yes. And then we have the change password, which changes the password. Then we got the update preferences, which updates the preferences. We got the JWT, which has the validate token. So since profile is a protected route, you must be logged in to use the profile route, and the validate token will validate your token and sees if you're eligible to go to the profile route. We got the model for the user preferences and the requests. We got the utilities, yeah, and the database for interacting with the database. What's left now is to create the serverless functions and add the entry points as the exported handlers that the code is exporting. So we have the update user, change password, and update preferences. Then you got the get user profile. So let's go to the console. Let's visit functions and create the 4 functions. Let's create the first function. We have the get user. Let's do camel case user and profile. It's a, of course, I'm going to give it 100 millisecond timeout, 10 megabytes of memory. It's a get, then the same domain. For the path, I'm gonna go with API / users. Yeah, that's it. And I'm gonna use the user service library, and the entry point is gonna be get user profile. Let's validate and then create a second one, which is update user profile. I'm gonna copy this since it's the same as the entry point, same timeout and same memory. The method is a put method since it's updating, and then the path is gonna be API / users. Also, the source is the same and the entry point is the same. Okay, let's create the third one, which is change password. It's the same as the entry point, and the source is the same library. The domain is the same, of course. I give it a timeout and 10 megabytes of memory. It's a put, of course, another put one, and it's API / users and / password. Add that. Okay. Now the next one is gonna be update preferences. So update preferences. This is going to be the same as the entry point, and the source is the library. The method is put and the domain is the same. For the path, it's going to be API users / and then preferences. We're going to use the get parameters, and we're good. Okay, so validate. Let's push. Well, first of all, we need to go back to our editor and we need to push this code to GitHub. So let's accept all of these, and then there's too many files. Let's just accept them right over here, and then clear. So let's cd into user service. We're already there. Let's get status. Yeah, multiple files. Get add, get commit. We have initial commit. Let's git push now. All right, let's go back to Dream Desktop and refresh our project. Now we have a new library of user service. Let's push this library. Then let's go back to our console. And then for our serverless functions, let's push to GitHub also. So added the user service serverless functions. Let's finish, and then it's pushed. Go back to Dream Desktop and push the config and code. All right then, so after the jobs finish and succeed, I'm gonna test one endpoints, and you can see that missing authorization header error. So what we need now is to create the front end, so the front end can register, log in, and after the login, takes the token, extracts the ID, and then uses it as a parameter to get the user profile or to update the information. So let's go back to cursor and open a new chat. Let's ask it to continue implementing the front end and the user service. Use the token from the login and perform operations with user service CRUD endpoints. And let's use the plan mode and enter. All right, the AI is done. It has created a to-do list. The first to do is to create a user service with API client methods. So this is to interact with the user service serverless functions backend, and update the dashboard to fetch display user and UI. So it updates the UI for the new service, add comprehensive error handling, and test all the CRUD operations. Okay, let's click build and see what happens. All right, it's done now. Let's push this code to, let's push the code to GitHub with git add and then git commit. Let's add a message updated for user service and then git push. Let's go back to our dream desktop, refresh, and let's push our front-end website to trigger a build. Go back to the console, go back to builds, and voila, our website job is open. All right, so for the first time, our build had an error and it did not build successfully. So the build failed, this directory not found. These are the logs that you can get clicking on the I button right besides your job, and we can copy this and give it to the AI straight and let it fix the problem. All right, the AI fixed this and it is building. Let's push again. Git add dot and git commit. Let's add a message of fixed a problem and then git push. After that, let's trigger a build again with Dream Desktop. So push and go back to the console, refresh. We have a new job for our website and we'll wait for it. All right, so the job has succeeded. Let's go to our website tab and open our website and another one. Let's sign up as a new user. Signing up is working. And then we need to complete the profile as intended. Let's complete our profile and everything is working. Let's go to view our profile. We have a full name, an email, a number, and everything else. So we can fill this and save changes. You can see that profile updated successfully and the preferences also work. We can change the preferences and the preferences updated successfully. So everything is working as intended. This is it for this video, and the next part is going to be about the listing service.